Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Nfgeeks.
Yes.
All right. So, Alex, right? Alex and I took a little break to chat a little in between the videos. And I showed Alex the poem I received that's the featured video right now on Nfgeeks from a person called INFJ Front Row Seat, an INFJ. And boy, I should have had the video on for that because Alex's INTJ reaction was priceless. And so that led us to decide to talk about poetry in general and some things around poetry and INTJ's difficulty with poetry and all that good stuff. So go ahead, Alex. What do you have to say about all this?
It was interesting, and that's a very kind word to use.
Yeah, from him, from an INTJ.
Well, I mean...
It's okay, because she knows I love it. I wrote her a long email about how much I love it.
She sounds like a nice girl, but if... I'm sorry to say... Well, no, I'm not really sorry to say this. If someone sent me something like that and I didn't know them, maybe even if I did know them, I'd probably block them.
Sure.
Because that would just freak me out.
Yeah, as an INTJ, I could see that. Yeah. That's why I don't send you poems.
Good, and I appreciate that, too.
See, I
wouldn't block you, but I'd probably ask you, Mike, are you drunk or something?
Yes. Or you might even tell me to stop.
If you were drunk, then I'd just forgive you for it and just pretend it never happened. But if you were sober, I'd be like, okay, please stop.
I might start sending you poems anyway now, just to troll you. Can I troll poem you? Can I do? Is there such a thing as poetic trolling?
If I know it's trolling, then I may enjoy it. I may find it hilarious. So sure, fine.
I'll make sure they're really bad poems too.
Entertain me. Entertain me. Yes.
Okay. I'll try to think of something. Okay, but I want to talk about the comment because we were talking about this a little bit as you were watching the video, and I know you think this is crazy.
Yes, I do.
I know. He already knows what I'm going to say.
Yes.
But I didn't block her. In fact, quite opposite. I absolutely understood immediately the connection that she was trying to make to me and the connection between us. That there was some sort of intuitive consciousness between us immediately. And she wrote that to me first in an email. And I wrote it back to... Well, I wrote, and I agreed. I mean, there was some sort of immediate connection that I automatically knew that not only was this safe, but this was important. That this was somehow our consciousnesses were sort of connecting in a way. And I don't mean this in some weird infantile erotic way or something stupid, I mean like that. Well, not stupid, but some kind of...
Right.
I mean like on a deeper level, there was sort of an intuitive connection that we both understood. She knew enough to send it, and I knew enough to reply back to her, in terms of it, and she replied back to me, and we've been having like a dialogue going on about it. So the reason why I didn't block it, if this makes any sense, I intuitively knew that this was safe, and not only safe, but wonderful that some sort of connection had taken place between me and this person. And I knew this within, okay, now you're going to think this isn't baddie.
Okay.
And it's okay to think it's baddie, because the NFs, this is for the NFs, they understand this.
Okay.
I knew this, I was completely sure of this about 3 or 4 seconds into the video, the first time I watched it. Yes. You have to be an NF to get this. But she just started talking, I was like, bing! I was like, wow, we're already there. See, this is what I mean. Our connections are outside of time.
And,
the NFs, watch, I'm going to get a ton of comments from NFs, and they're going to be like, right on.
That is why you are such an easy target.
For what? For the sending of the for the poem, you mean?
No, for NTs taking over.
For NTs taking over. You don't understand. We're outside of time. Don't you understand time? The rules of time don't actually apply to us. We had a connection. It didn't take any time. We automatically knew it was happening.
Okay. Onward.
All right. So anyway, the discussion's really about poetry.
Right. Yes.
So
poetry.
All right. So I find, Alex, that INTJs sometimes wrestle with poetry.
Yes, I don't enjoy poetry.
Yeah. So what do you think's going on with that?
Because I don't get what they're trying to say. They're using metaphors, basically. Okay, like when you use metaphors, okay, I know what you are using a metaphor for. You are saying, okay, allow me to use, I'm angry, and allow me to use a metaphor to explain my anger in this situation. Okay, fine, I'm able to understand that. I'm able to relate the two. But in poetry, they're using just metaphors.
Right.
Without
the initial priming or framing.
Exactly, yes. And that's why I can't understand it. And that's why I read it and I don't get it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now, in all fairness to Alex, this is a common INTJ discussion. Every INTJ I ever met has said this. Not only that, too, it shows it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's because your strength is in rational thought and rational explanations.
Right.
And
of course.
defining terms.
Yep.
Logical reasoning. All things that are outside, that poetry has nothing to do with. So your strengths and abilities are towards another way of seeing the world, expressing the world, understanding the world. That poetry is, not necessarily a glue to.
Yes, absolutely. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, Megatron, our INTJ cohort, I've had many discussions with him about this, about Shakespeare. He does not like Shakespeare.
No,
why are we reading it? Why are we studying it?
I'm not a big fan of Shakespeare either. I mean, the only
It's classic INTJ.
I mean, Romeo and Juliet. I mean, that was just ridiculous. I mean, really. Two teenagers. Okay, these two teenagers just meet each other. No, listen to this.
No.
They met each other, and they're like, "Oh man, I love you. Like, I want to get married to you and everything." Oh yeah, I don't know you. You're wearing a mask. Okay, so I can't even see your face right now. But sure, let's get married.
Okay.
No, hold on. Let's get married. Okay, let's get married. Okay, let's fuck each other. Let's have a kid, and maybe our parents will all get along and everything. But no, it fails. Let's kill ourselves. And I met you yesterday. Let's just kill ourselves.
Okay.
Because it's that's
you're gonna hate this.
I am gonna. I already hate it.
Is that it didn't matter about the masks because they were NFs. And they automatically understood, just like me and front row seat, automatically understood the connection. They automatically, within 4 seconds, understood the connection because they were both NFs.
As an NF, I'm sure you can probably understand this. You do need the eye contact.
Yeah,
you do need the facial expression.
Yes.
The eye contact.
Yes.
Eyes are the window of the soul.
Okay.
Sunglasses.
See, that was poetic.
I'm getting it.
Okay.
I mean, sunglasses.
Okay. Slow it down.
Yeah.
I know that you're getting it.
Don't get a hold of
Right.
myself.
You took a baby step. You're not ready for a marathon.
But like sunglasses, for example, they kind of like almost mask, like they not mask, but they like hide you from the world, and people don't know, like they feel uncomfortable around people wearing sunglasses. So the same concept like a mask, really. When you're hiding your face, people feel uncomfortable about that. So just the idea of two people wearing masks, despite the fact that they're NFs, two wearing masks, and just like decide that they're gonna get married and just like have sex and kill themselves all in just like less a weekend. That is just like completely ridiculous. And I don't care how you justify that with an NF or anything. You can't justify that.
All right. Well, first, let's keep in mind they're teenagers, and teenagers kind of act like this sometimes. I mean, in the real world.
Okay, and
you could give them
sadly.
Sure.
True.
Okay. Again, though, the masks. I have to say, it doesn't matter. NFs can see right. We see through masks all the time. All the time. All the masks of society.
Okay, so
NFs goes right through it.
This happens in the real world all the time. So why are we romanticizing it?
Because NFs. And this is why I think sometimes that Shakespeare was an INFP, because an INFP would have the strongest. NFs also have an appreciation, and you would probably say an obsession or even a fetish, but we have an appreciation for the tragic, melancholy side of love.
I think it's a fetish.
You immediately went to fetish.
Yeah, no, I just skipped that step.
Right, went to fetish. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. We all have fetishes. I can live with
whatever. Yeah.
But INFPs in particular. But me too. We have I would consider it an appreciation.
I consider it a fetish. But okay.
We have a fetish-like appreciation for tragic love, unrequited love, doomed love. The poem that INFJ front row seat that we just saw was a little bit about that. In that poem, I know it was lost. I had to explain it a little. But the poem, there was a it was a meeting and then a parting. You know what I mean? The birds came together. And then she's in the end. She's talking about going this other way or this other path, and sort of being happy that he came along. And that's not what she said. It was much more beautiful than I just ruined it. Please forgive me, INFJ. Front row seat. I just But I loved it. I loved it.
Beautiful is the word he describes it.
Yeah, it was. Hey, it's featured video on Nfgeeks. Are you kidding me? It's top notch. But she okay, but that fascination with love coming together and then parting, the fleetingness of love is something we have a fascination with because love is so primary to our being. So it's all the aspects of love are important. In the same sense that all the aspects of rational thought and science, even the dark ones, are important to you. Does that make... Are we connecting a little bit? Is there a bridge?
A little bit. It kind of
a rope? Is there a tightrope that I can walk with the stick?
It sounds to me like you're relating to the heartbreak. Because
sure,
yeah,
yes,
basically
that's a big NF.
You're like, yes,
thing.
I've had my heart broken so many times.
Yes,
so I appreciate this because at least someone else feels the same way I do, and there's hope for me because I'll find someone that has a broken heart, but I can still
Alex,
can share a broken heart with each other.
That was almost empathic. That was real growth right there.
That was that was the best empathy you will ever get.
That's
from
right.
Me. I mean,
if it wasn't for the slight contempt in your voice, you would have got there. But that was really good. That's the most. That's the closest I've ever seen an INTJ get to empathy.
Wow,
so.
I mean, I feel proud of myself. Actually,
yeah, actually, you should be. You brought yourself there.